Some are calling it the death of tax havens. I said a couple of years ago that I felt that Belize was no longer a great offshore jurisdiction for the average person's company. And long before that, I said places like the Seychelles were also not good for the average person looking to go offshore. Well, now there's even more news and there's a bigger movement to make tax havens harder to deal with. I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Hey guys, I'm Andrew Henderson, and here is what's happening. You know, around the world, countries that have high taxes, big countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, all the OECD members, basically these are the lobbying group for the high tax countries, the OECD. They do what they do, which is they want everyone to have higher taxes. And just like any other business, they don't like competition. So what they've been doing over the years is using their heft to shut down smaller players by using fear of losing access to the US markets, fear of shutting down these smaller countries' banking systems, and other things. We're even seeing it to a certain degree in the citizenship market now, where the second citizenship by investment programs in the Caribbean are somewhat being used as a weapon against those countries by high-tax countries to get them to shape up. Now, here's what you need to know. When you're going to set up your company offshore, you want to pick the right jurisdiction. The right jurisdiction is going to help make sure that you can get access to quality banking. Make sure that not only can you have a bank, but as you're moving money around the world, you're going to be able to do so with relative ease. You're just going to have fewer problems. And I've had people come to me over the years saying, I set up in the wrong place, now my bank is de-risking, they're shutting down my account, I can't do business. And so that's definitely a problem. Now, Belize, Seychelles, these are kind of the lower rung on the offshore company spectrum. Why? Not that much due diligence, not that many requirements, and so they're just not as widely respected. They can serve a purpose in some cases, but for the average person running an active business, I just don't think they do the job anymore. They may do the job from a tax perspective, and in some countries, by the way, some countries are even coming after, you know, if you have a Belize company, we don't count that. You're just going to pay us. So from a tax perspective, they may work, even though they don't always work. But from an operational perspective, they won't work. You want to go a little bit higher up the offshore ladder. And that's what takes you to the kind of the more traditional tax havens, the Cayman Islands, the British Virgin Islands, places like that. Now, what's happening in those places? Well, in the British overseas territories, the UK is coming in and they're flexing their muscle and they're saying, hey, we want you guys to clean up. We want you to open up your share register so there's going to be less privacy. We want you to do certain things. So recently in the British Virgin Islands, there was a requirement to have what's called a substantial presence. And the purpose of this was to make sure that you weren't sitting in some high-tax country running your BVI company and using some tricks. And so the kind of unintended or perhaps intended consequence was that just normal people running BVI companies had extra things to comply with, okay? And so those kinds of things are getting bigger. They're rolling out more and more things, and if I'm reading the tea leaves, I see more and more transparency, I see more and more requirements, hiring people, you know, physical presence. I see all kinds of different things coming to the pike. Now, sometimes people watch these videos and they'll come up to me and they'll say, Andrew, hey, I'm here in Georgia because you recommended to start a company in Georgia. Or I talked to a guy I'm working with the other day, you know, hey, I heard you don't like Hong Kong, so like, let's not do Hong Kong. I never make blanket statements like this. Now, sometimes I'll say, don't bank with HSBC, or I'll say, you know, don't do this in most cases. But I'm not trying to say don't go to the BVI, don't go to the Cayman Islands. Just had a guy recently who was very happy in the Cayman Islands, and it's really working out for him. So there's no one-size-fits-all strategy, okay? The person who's running a $500,000 Amazon business has a different strategy than the guy who has, you know, 10 businesses all over the world and they gross $20 million a year. So I don't know which one you are. What I am saying is be aware that there's more paperwork, there are more requirements. I've said onshore is the new offshore. onshore, offshore, hybrid setups where you're taking advantage of the best of both worlds to control the flow of your money, to minimize your tax, to give you the maximum control of your business, and to let you have a foot in both worlds while still saving a lot of money and reducing or even eliminating the tax bill depending on how you want to live. That's going to be the future. The days of simply saying BVI company, send all the money there, and nobody asks any questions are over. So you have to keep that in mind. The death of tax havens is perhaps here, but there are ways to work around it to still get the same benefits. You don't really want to go to a tax haven, you just want the benefits it provides. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson from Nomad Capitalist. I wrote this book, which you can find on Amazon, to distill a lot of the stuff we talk about in these videos and a lot of the stuff I've learned over the last decade plus traveling all around the world, teaching you about how to legally reduce your taxes, build your personal freedom, and create wealth faster. Definitely get a copy of this book if you want to learn more. Now, if you want to watch more videos, make sure you subscribe to our channel and make sure you click the notifications bell so you never miss one of our new videos with more tips on how to go where you're treated best. And if you're already a 6 or 7 figure entrepreneur and you'd like to put these strategies in place for yourself, go to nomadcapitalist.com and learn about how I can help you.